isn't actually any particular evidence that the levels of the virus in different countries are behaving any differently. The virus seems to pattern. There is a rise in infections, a rise in tragic deaths, and then they peak and then they fall away. If you had been going to have a serious system of quarantine, then the time to have it would have been when the virus was coming into the country from abroad, whenever that was. But to come up with it now and then to introduce some scheme whereby people will face spot checks if they come back from abroad, all this will do, and it's obvious to anybody who's thinking of traveling, all this will do is it will simply put people off undertaking any travel at all, because if you take a 2-week holiday, you don't want to then spend the next fortnight boxed up in your house waiting for some official to say that you can go to work. People won't do it. It's just another measure taken by a government which has completely carelessly strangled an entire advanced economy and doesn't seem to have any idea of how to get out of the mess it's got into. I just can't sympathize with it at all. I can't see, if you were going to have any argument for it, it would have had to have been long ago and not now. But there doesn't seem to be any argument for it now, except the fact the government now has powers to behave like this, so it will use them. Well, it's all part of the plan to ruin the travel industry even more. It's already been ruined, on top of all the other industries that the government has been ruining over the past few weeks. And one sees this endless prospect of people in peak caps turning up in one's life saying, have you been here? Have you done this? Are you still staying in your house? And the nightmare continues. I'm just amazed that people put up with this sort of thing in a country which used to pride itself on its independent mindedness, that we're being threatened with incessant interventions in our lives by officialdom, which actually will almost certainly produce no good results. If they were going to have a serious quarantine on people coming in and out of the country, surely it should have been months ago, not now. We have Ronald Reagan's great warning that the most terrifying words in the English language were, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. The idea that the British government could manage a system of this kind effectively or efficiently or well is so ludicrous, given its incompetence in almost every area. It's being particularly electronic things, but also all the attempts at testing which have so far taken place. How is this going to work? People are presumably going to be able to I wouldn't dream of encouraging any such activity, but can you imagine a certificate of such value existing without people forging them and providing them on the blanket? How are people going to check them? What sort of system of bureaucracy and checking could conceivably cope with it? It's a recognition of the fact people can't stand this very much longer. This national work to rule, where we're constantly stifled by foolish regulations. But the idea that it could be got rid of in this way seems to me to be fanciful, given everything we know about the way in which government performs. Why not just do what we've done in the past and stop quarantining healthy people? Sure, but it was a brilliant piece of opposition beyond doubt. They picked a subject which they couldn't really lose on. But it's interesting to see how, if you look at the Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday, resisting it, he points out that he's been treated by a nurse from Portugal and he's very sympathetic, but he also points out how very much it will cost to do, and therefore he's against it. He didn't see, as major politicians often don't, at the time these things happen, how big it would get. It was too simple, too straightforward, and it contradicted too much the Conservative Party's current attempt to claim that it is the party that is more deeply in love with the NHS even than Labour. So I think as soon as he got back to Downing Street, all the advisors said, Prime Minister, you've got to give way on this. And he might have said, well, how do we find the money? And then so we'll work that out later. And it is, of course, a problem. There is a lot of money involved, and it will have to be found from somewhere else. And you can bet your life that within 6 months or so, people will be saying, well, where's all this money gone? It used to be in the NHS budget. But it was a brilliant piece of opposition, no question about it. Whether it's actually advanced the cause of anything in the end, it remains to be seen.
We will make America great again.